I guess that's not going to share, so let's just say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Tom, you have to unmute.
All right, I'm back. Okay. All right.
Carolyn, London.
Okay, let me
join
admit
the
Carolyn.
meeting.
She got in. Hi, Carolyn. So if everyone would unmute and turn their videos on at this point, that would be great. Thank you. And I'm trying to allow 2 more people that have just come in to the waiting room. All right. So sorry for this.
This is Carolyn. I'm on here by phone now.
Okay. So we're just getting ready to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, the next item on our agenda is, I'm going back to the agenda now. But I haven't been able to share my screen, Peter, so that's been the problem here. For me to be able to find these things. I know we did this before, but not being able to do it today. So I'm just going to read out the agenda here. And so the next thing on the agenda for today is the welcome. And Carolyn, if you want to do the welcome, then
I surely will. I'm sorry about my delay. I'd like to welcome everyone today. I don't know how many people we have, but Tom can tell me that. But welcome one and all. We're happy that you could make it, and we hope you're well and you're safe.
Yeah, I believe we currently have 18 people online.
Wonderful.
So we're very happy about that. And now we are going to go ahead with our program, and Mary, Sherry are going to introduce our speakers for today.
Okay, we have 2 speakers today from the Durham County Library, and I will be introducing Tanja Wall, and Sherry will introduce Leander Croker. Tanja Wall is the Senior Library Assistant in the main Adult Services Department for Durham County Library. She began working for Durham County Library on May 2nd of 1988. Tanja has 32 years of public service experience providing excellent customer service skills and other expertise skills while working for Durham County Library. During her tenure at the library, she has worked in the circulation department at the main library, Southwest Library, and North Regional branches. In addition, she has worked in the resources and technical services department in the cataloging and processing unit for over 20 years. Furthermore, she has volunteered at various community service organizations and has received numerous awards. Her most recent award was in 2018 when she received the First Quarter Directors Award for exceptional customer service, innovation, positive attitude, and excellent work habits. She enjoys working pleasantly and effectively with people of all ages. Most importantly, she is an advocate of lifelong learning. In her spare time, she enjoys reading, other hobbies, and spending time with her family. She was born and raised in Durham, North Carolina, and received her Bachelor of Arts degree in Sociology from North Carolina Central University and a Master's of Library and Information Science degree also from North Carolina Central University in Durham. So that is the introduction for Ms. Tanja Wall, and now Sherry will introduce Ms. Leander Croker.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Leander A. Croker is the Business Service Manager for the Durham County Library. Prior to joining Durham Public Library, Leander spent the early part of her career in academic libraries at North Carolina A&T State University and Johnston Community College. For the past 4 years, Leander has been the driving force behind entrepreneurial education and support programming, which includes financial and business literacy programming, professional development for key library staff through the National Learning Collaborative, strengthening libraries as entrepreneurial hubs cohort, and intentional local partnerships. This multifaceted approach is nurturing entrepreneurs, strengthening staff capacity to deliver high-quality services, and positioning the library as a relevant and active partner in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. As a direct result of this programming, Durham County Library was awarded the SunTrust Lighting the Way Award to financially support expanding entrepreneurship-related programming and the NCPLDA 2019 Literacy Award. Leander knows access to information can change lives, and librarians play a pivotal role in that exploration. Leander, originally from Dayton, Ohio, received her undergraduate degree in history from Winston-Salem State University and her Master's of Library and Information Science from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. Welcome, ladies.
And we invited these ladies to tell us about the resources that the library will have to help us senior citizens as we try to learn all of this new technology.
And Leander and Tanja, I've made you both co-hosts, so you should be able to share your screens whenever you want to.
Okay, thank you so much. That was a great introduction. I'm just going to share my screen. Can everyone see our first slide, the Durham County Library?
Yes.
All right. So on this is just an introductory slide. It has my name, my title, and Tanja Wall's email addresses. And I'll put those in the chat if you guys want to contact us with any additional questions after. So with everything that's going on with COVID-19, we were originally supposed to come, I believe, in March to do a presentation on what the library had to offer, what we were going to do. But of course, things have changed, and so we've had to pivot. And with that pivot, we've had to transfer all of our programming that you were used to having in person at your local locations to the virtual setting. And so what we've done as programmers and librarians is started recording ourselves on videos, on Zooms with our cameras to create this programming for you. So we have weekly new programs related to Toddler Tuesdays. Those things are crafts, story times that you can have with your grandkids or your children. We have Wacky Wednesdays. These are just fun things to get you moving. Think about what you have around your house. You can create crafts of. Totally Teens, which is a teen year programming that includes literature, crafts, and some homework assistance. And Adult Thursday, which you all can benefit from, which includes everything that we did in the library with the crafts that are geared towards adults, how to use some of our online and virtual resources, as well as some of the business programming that I partner with the city of Durham on. Bilingual Thursdays. This is our most robust and kind of diverse area. We have French and Spanish language classes that take place on here virtually. So they're like 4 and 5 minute videos of how to speak general conversational, as well as stories that are in different languages. And Art Through Senses. This is a program initiative that we have that shows you how to create art using either just the sounds and you draw what you hear, through smell, and through closing your eyes. I've done this at the Bahama Senior Center, where we would have we had a few ladies who were visually impaired, and we would blindfold others, and they would choose the fabrics that they wanted to create their landscape and things. So that was a great fun activity that we translated and recorded for our YouTube. All of these programs are available on our YouTube channel, which is at Durham County Library. And so since we have been since our doors have been closed, a lot of people have been wondering what we have been doing. So as soon as the pandemic hit, Main Library, of course, was still in that transitional period of getting those last finishing touches done to the building. So what we did is we have a maker lab that's going to be housed in the new library. So what we did is we turned that into a clean room, which means only people who had coveralls and had sanitized their hands could go in there. And so what we did is we started 3D printing face shields that were sent out to Durham County's first responders. So that was our EMTs, our sheriff's department, because those are our coworkers. We started printing off those 3D face shields in that room and sending them out. Our family literacy and community services team, this includes our outreach services that goes into for the sick and shut-ins, started delivering meals and books from the book harvest. And that happened as soon as the county began to close. And now we have 24-hour book returns. When we closed our doors, it was fairly abruptly. And so when we opened back up, we wanted to make sure that people could return their items. Originally, you can always check out 50 items total, and those items add up. So when we opened up our book drop, we had 100,000 items out that were throughout the county. So we started returning those books in and cleaning them and quarantining them. And so as a result, we have started library takeout, which has been going on since June. And library takeout allows you to still take out physical items. And Tanja will go ahead and explain kind of what goes on with the takeout.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to explain to you about library takeout. As of June the 16th, we now you can place holds on library materials. You can do that by first placing a hold. You can log into your account to place holds, or you can call us at 919-560-0103. 0103 to speak to staff if you need assistance. Library takeout is Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the maximum holds that you can place is 5. You can do that online, or you can call in again at the 919-560-0103 number, and staff can assist you in placing your holds on your 5 items. Once your items become available, we will contact you either by phone or by email to let you know that your items are ready now to be picked up. And so the next step, you will have to make an appointment. You have to schedule an appointment. You can call us, or you can go online at durhamcountylibrary.org and schedule your appointment for library takeout. And once you place your appointment time, when you go to the regionals, the location, they prefer you to have a mask on, and there's the process. And so now I'm gonna go in to speak about library cards for residents who do not have library cards. We can issue a library card. You can go online and ask for help, or you can call the library takeout number, and we will be glad to issue a temporary library card where you can get those 5 items. For residents who are not Durham County resident, it's going to be a $45 annual fee for non-residents of Durham County Library. Do you have any questions, anything for me about library takeout or about library cards?
Yeah, Tanja, do you have like a brochure or something like that from the Durham County Library that you can email me, that's a digital, or that I can email to all of our members?
Okay. I can put one of those together, Tanja, and we can get that out to them.
Yes.
I have placed in the chat the phone number, and just FYI, if you call around this time every other day, you may get Tanja on the phone because she's the one who works our phones for us. But we put that number in the chat, as well as the library webpage for easy access. But we'll put together kind of a quick FAQ thing that we can send out.
Mhm.
Can I ask a question? Are DVDs still available from the library?
Yes, all materials.
Oh, great.
Mhm.
So when the library is able to resume face-to-face interaction, will there be any classes for senior citizens to help us learn how to navigate this new virtual technology?
Well, I think you all are doing great from what I've seen today, but yes, eventually, we don't know when that will be when we expand services to happen in-house. As long as the county permits us, we do have a computer lab in all of the locations where we will go back and do those classes. Based on what we've done prior to COVID, we've had how to set up your email and essentially, and it kind of builds from there. So we have varying levels of classes, and we're actually looking for a way to present those online. We do have a Zoom platform that we host where we do live presentations kind of like this. And so that's one thing that may translate into a virtual program. On the YouTube page, we have a Creating Fun with Canva backgrounds. Canva is kind of an online platform, and it takes you through how to set that up. So we are looking for ways to kind of, if we aren't able to do this in person for a while, to translate online like you all have done here. But we're hopeful that maybe sometime next year we can start doing smaller programming and things like that. And so based on what we've done before, we've done the virtual tablet classes, in-person tablet classes, as well as computer programming classes.
Well, it would.
For example, I was going to say, for example, it would be, I need to take a class in basic Zoom functions, like how to share things. I get lucky sometimes and able to figure it out at the last minute, or it just works by hook or crook. But so yeah, that'd be great if the Durham Public Library had a Zoom class on how to do Zoom basic functions.
It would, because, and you know what, if you do that, please include the fact that if you have a Chromebook, Zoom looks very different on the Chromebook than it does on a Windows platform.
And it does. And we're all in this same boat, because I have a kindergartner who's doing his entire kindergarten process online. So he's learning Zoom. And it's one of those things where even at the library, we'll have Zooms, and then we have Teams meetings, and then we have a whole plethora of different platforms for outside county organizations. So I'll definitely, I'm writing my little notes here, because that's how we get a lot of our program ideas. All of my program ideas come directly from the community. And I'll go ahead in our chat and I'll put Tanja and mine's email. Tanja, do you mind if I put your email in the chat?
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'll share my presentation with you as well. So that way, if you have any programming ideas that we can maybe record or figure out how we can get that out to you, that's what we're here for.
And I just make another comment. I talked to my daughter last night. She said that her internet was down all day yesterday, and she has 5 people at her house trying to get on the internet to access their work or their classes. So they were creating hotspots at her house so that the kids could get on to their lessons. So we need a lot of help with technology in creating hotspots. And what do you do when the internet goes down?
And so what do you do when the internet goes down? And creating hotspots from your phone. And so Durham County Library also does circulate hotspots. There's a long wait list for them, but we have, I think, about 70 or 75 hotspots that circulate throughout the county available for checkout.
And you know, we also got a suggestion at my church that while we are not able to meet physically, some of these churches might also consider creating hotspots in their parking lot for students who don't have access to internet at their homes.
And all of our libraries, the reach from the public Wi-Fi does reach out into the parking lot. at all of our locations.
I've got a question for you. This is Pete Eckhoff. And is there a way of donating? There's a place called Cramden Institute, and they recycle computers and donate them out to vetted but needy kids. And they're down in the park here in RTP, and it's KRAMDEN Institute. And I guess this is a lead into, okay, we can donate equipment, but are there processes for donating funds so that people can get up and running? I know that the Durham Board of Education, I guess, has a foundation, and I'm wondering if there are other foundations around where we can donate to.
I've heard when the students first started going back to school, the city was collecting old computers to kind of refurbish them and get them out so all the students could have access to them. And I can look and see if I can find some contacts with the city and get them to Thomas to maybe share out.
Yeah, I know that Cramden I've worked there as a volunteer for several years until COVID hit, and but I know that they're starting to let some people who are let's say wear masks and are virus aware back in to help refurbish some of the computers. But anyway, I thought of throwing my 2 cents and maybe a few extra dollars. Thank you.
So do we have any other questions?
Yeah, my question is for Ms. Croker. I just wanted to know, for someone who does not have a library card or access to a computer, can they still just call in and gain access through the telephone and be able to put books on hold that way?
Tanja, can they do that with you?
Yes.
As long as they have the titles, correct?
Yes, they can. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you can. You can call the 919-560-0103 number, and staff will be able to assist you with placing your holds and also registering you for your library card, your temporary library card.
Thank you.
And that's Monday through Friday. Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions for our speakers today?
I don't really have a question, but I would just like to thank the library, because when my son was starting out, we rented really DVDs from the library, and we had a ball watching all the time. So thank you for everything y'all did.
Sorry, I don't know what that was. Can you repeat?
That was feedback. If you have two speakers on, you get feedback like that.
Okay, thank you. So could you repeat whatever you said, Sherry?
Yeah,
that was me, Tom.
And all the staff for everything you do, because when my son was young, he rented many DVDs from the library, and we had them all watching them together, as well as books. I made him read too, but we really appreciated all the resources the library had.
Well, we thank you, and we thank you for your support and patience at this time. We're all trying to figure out how to shift our services to reach people in in this new way. So we want to thank you for your patience and support with that. And as librarians, our service model is not 6 feet apart. So we're trying to figure out how to keep ourselves safe and keep everyone else safe, as well as provide the same level of service and expectations. Because I know if you heard Tanja's bio, customer service is paramount to us, because we want to make sure that everyone feels welcome and has access to the information that they need.
And also, the new library is so beautiful. And when did the new building open?
We have not fully opened yet. We are a voting site. So when we expand services to include people in the building, that will come out. I'm not at liberty to speak about exactly when that will happen because I don't know. But we still have the finishing touches. It's just like when you build a house and you get to the very last part and you're like, I'm ready to move in. And you're like, your inspector says, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. And then you have to do that. So we're still doing those final finishing touches, but we are hopeful it'll be soon. We are anxious to open the same way the public is. And we're just ready kind of to show it off.
Well, it looks beautiful from the outside. I'm sure you can't wait to get in.
And if you are voting and have not voted yet and wanting to early vote, I encourage you to park down at the bottom because the voting location is down some steps and there's not a ramp. But if you come around, you can see the curbside voting and there are some parking spaces down there. And then you can feel free to walk around and put your face up to the windows because that's what a lot of people have been doing. We'll wave at you.
You all had some beautiful artwork in the old library. Did you keep it or?
I know it was originally transferred over to the visitors bureau because that's where our admin team was. And I'm not sure kind of what is going to come back into the building and what they have sent out to other county offices.
Mm-hmm. Tom, I'm sorry, I made the bad noise. I finally got in on my computer. And my telephone was still on, so that was a loud noise.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, well, are there any other questions for our guests from the Durham Public Library? If not, we want to thank you very much for being here today. I apologize for my ineptitude on getting the meeting going, so I definitely need a course in Zoom meeting management. So thank you very much for all that you're doing to help us seniors get up to speed.
Well, thank you, Tom.
For having us.
Great job.
I'll definitely try to work on that. And again, if you have any questions, the phone number to library cards and make reservations is in the chat, as well as our email addresses. If you have any questions that we can directly help you with, or we'll point you in the direction that would be best fit you. And I saw your email, Thomas, and I'll send you an email with those slides.
Wonderful. And I will send this information out to all of the attendees today on this call. So, and thank you, Tanja, for your input today and your presentation.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank
Y'all
you.
take care. Be safe.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So at this point, I'm once again going to try to share my screen and see if you can actually see the agenda, and it will work or it won't. So can you see the agenda or just my files?
Just your files.
Your files.
Okay. All right. So the next thing is to talk about the NARF annuitant briefings, and since I'm not able to share my screen for some reason, I have no idea why. What I did was I attached a file that Henry Bratley sent me, and also Carolyn sent me. This afternoon, there is a Blue Cross Blue Shield annuitant briefing from 2 to 4 p.m. So if you got the email that I sent you yesterday or the day before, it has this information in it with the link for the Zoom meeting to register for that annuitant briefing. There's one today, October 27th from 2 to 4 p.m. And then there's one Thursday, October 29th from 2 to 4 p.m. And I'm assuming that this is going to be information about the open season with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Is that correct, Carolyn?
Yes, and that's where they ought to have our 2-minute video where I talked about NARF membership and NARF benefits. So they should have that tacked into their annuitant briefing.
Okay. So Yes, let's see here.
Hey, Tom?
Yeah, I'm just looking here. Yes?
I've got the federal benefits open season dates and options announced memo open. I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, are you able to share that? I made you a co-host. You should be able to, I'm thinking.
If you can send it on over toward me,
Well,
bring it
yeah.
on up.
Yeah, you're already a co-host, so you should be able to do that.
Okay. Let me see. I'm a little bit new on this. Let's see.
You'll have to start your video to do that.
Okay. All right. Let me do that then. Start my video. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Share screen. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's see.
I have the dates and times if you're interested in that, and the website.
Yeah, I sent that out to everybody in the email yesterday. And like I said earlier, there is one today from 2 to 4 this afternoon, and then there's another one on Thursday from 2 to 4.
And once people registered, they should have gotten the link to hook in. You had to register first, and then they sent an email linking you, showing you the link to hook up to the meeting.
So, Peter, it says we are viewing your screen.
Okay.
But I don't see anything.
I don't see anything either.
You know, I'm not sure what to press here. All I see is, my video camera. That's the only thing I see right at the moment here.
Yeah, it may be my fault. It may be that I have not set up today's session to allow everyone to share their screen. But
Tom,
I don't know.
And then he did something and pushed it up and turned it off, but it was up for a minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was. That's right, Peter. It was up for a minute. We did see it for a minute. So.
Okay, hang on a second here. Let's see. Start.
While you're doing that, should we go on with some other? Oh, there we go.
Okay, you see the federal benefits open season dates and options?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't read through this yet, but if someone wants to direct it, I can maneuver it up and down, and so we can read it. Anyway.
Well, I think it'd be better maybe if we can just send this out to everybody to let them look at this.
Okay.
A lot of people have already received this and read it. So rather than going through this right now,
they can also look for it if they haven't seen it.
Yeah, and plus also this will be the same thing that will be presented at the Blue Cross Blue Shield briefings this afternoon and Thursday afternoon. So I would encourage you to go back and look at the email that I sent you yesterday, which has the registration link to register for this afternoon's annuitant briefing from 2 to 4, or if you want to register for Thursday's briefing, is also from 2 to 4 with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Okay, so the next thing on the agenda for today is to talk about the need for a federal nominating committee, and that will be Carolyn. So do you want to go ahead and talk about that, Carolyn?
Right. According to our bylaws, in November, we should have a slate of officers for the chapter, and have we would vote in December, and then the new officers would take over the first day, the 1st of January.
Carolyn, you want to start your video also?
Sure. Start my video.
There you go. We see you now. You might want to tilt your camera down a little bit, or your screen down or something. There you go. Yeah, we got you now. Go ahead. Okay.
All right. So our nominating, we need some volunteers for the nominating committee, or we need volunteers for officers. Peter and I are willing to carry on next year, but I want Tom to take the lead as president, and I would be his backup. And then if everybody else wants to stay where they are, we're happy to have that as well. If you want to drop off, you need to let us know. And we need to present that slate of officers in November so that we can vote in December. So do we have any volunteers for a nominating committee? Any comments at all? I think everybody's doing a great job, and I'm just real pleased with the progress of the Durham chapter, but we want to keep that going. Pete has been a wonderful treasurer. Tom has been a wonderful co-vice president. Jane and Mary have done extremely well with our programs. And anybody who wants to continue, we want you to continue. If you need to drop
How many people do we need on the nominating committee?
We only need 1 or 2.
Okay.
Anybody? Well, Tom, we'll just call some people and see who we can get. We also need a volunteer for the chapter services officer. This is a person who contacts next of kin when a NARF member passes away. So far, we've had 4 this year, and I have taken care of that because Beulah, who's been our service officer for forever, has been incapacitated this year. So we need somebody who would be willing to take over that role. So I need somebody to let me know. As you all know already from what you've been hearing, our chapter is a very strong chapter. And we are kind of leading the way in the state with many things, with our virtual meetings, with all the things that we're doing with membership and that kind of thing. But I need somebody to help out Beulah. Beulah wants to pass on the information that she has. So really the person does not have to know how to do everything or how to tell someone about all the benefits that are possible. Basically, you need to know how to get in touch with OPM and TSP and things like that when someone passes away. So I need a volunteer for that. I also need a volunteer for the Federation nominating committee. That person would use about 4 hours of their time over the course of 2 years. The appointment would be for 2 years, but that would be someone who helps to make sure all the nominated officers for the Federation have their materials in, and possibly somebody who would attend. Usually it's someone who would attend the Federation annual meeting. Fred Hawkins has done that for many, many years, but he told me a few weeks ago he needs to resign from that. So I need your help with somebody who would be willing to be the federation serve on the federation nominating committee. Normally, we have one person from each area of the state, and we have everybody covered now except Area 4, and that's us, and the other chapters in our area. So please let Tom or me know if you'd be willing to serve in that capacity. I hear only silence.
Is anybody there?
So
I don't hear anybody.
please let us, please help us out whenever you think about it and when you can. And now we can start, I think, with the committee reports. And I'd like to start with membership today. You got your newsletter about a week ago, I think. And if you looked at it, you would notice we had 150 members in the newsletter. Since that time, we've had 5 people who had dropped their dues reinstate. So our membership right now is 155 since the newsletter went out. I've been working the M112 list and trying to contact everybody whose dues have expired. And as I said, 5 people have reinstated. So that puts us now at 155 actual chapter members. Also, you probably heard me mention, I did a 2-minute video with Henry, he was doing the techie work. I wrote and read the 2-minute video about NARF membership and about the benefits of being a NARF member. And since we couldn't have face-to-face health fairs this year, they are going to, Blue Cross Blue Shield would tack on a 2-minute video about the benefits of NARF membership. We try to do that with Aetna and also with GEHA, and they were supposed to let me know, and I have not heard from them. As far as health fairs are concerned, there aren't any. There aren't going to be any this year. Everybody's working from home, or as many people as can are working from home in our federal agencies. And the only place that we were able to take a stack of applications and recruitment packages was to the Durham VA. Andy took them there a couple of weeks ago. But the other places are not having anything mailed to them. They're not doing anything with face-to-face health fairs this year. So that will limit our recruiting opportunities. So I beg you to reach out to anyone you know who's eligible for NARF membership and ask them to join us, because our numbers are dropping very, very rapidly. Predictions are being made that in 5 years, we won't have an organization if we continue to drop members as we have in the past. Durham chapter had 266 members, I think, when I first became president. We went up to about 280, and then we're now down to 155. So that kind of lets you know where we are. Many, many chapters in North Carolina have closed for lack of leadership and interest, and people have been dying off. We've lost a lot of people. But anyway, we now have 32 chapters in North Carolina. We had 52 15 years ago. So that also lets you know kind of how our membership is going. So we really need your help. And with that, I wanted to tell you about some incentives that the Federation has put in place. I don't know if you all received this, but Henry Bratley had put out something telling you that between October 1 and December 31, the Federation was going to give some prizes in addition to the ones that we get from the from National. As you know, National had the thing of recruiting. Each person you recruit, you would get $10. The Federation is going to match that. So for every person you recruit between now and the 31st of December, you would get $20. $10 from National and $10 from the Federation. And then there are going to be various prizes like gift certificates. And at the end of the year, there will be an Amazon Fire 7, which will be awarded as a grand prize. So anyway, that's, if you are interested in any more of the incentives, we can send that to you. And that's about what I have for membership at this point. But please try to reach out to people and see if we can get some more members. If each of us just recruited one member, that would double our membership. So if you know somebody out there who is just itching to become a NARF member or is eligible to be a NARF member, let's try to recruit them. Dues go up the 1st of January from $40 to $48. But if they come in with the $40, it never goes up.
Well, that's an incentive.
Yes, but it will be 48 starting the 1st of January. So that could be one of the things we want to let people know. And I've certainly been telling people that who are prospectives and that kind of thing. By the way, Peter, you should get some money from Sam Crane, because one of the people who reinstated his membership signed up for dues withholding. And in that case, the chapter would get $5.
I did receive a check from Sam Crane, and it's in my monthly treasurer's report for this month.
Okay, I've not seen that. That may be because of the computer problems I've been having.
Well, I also sent the treasurer's report out during this meeting, so double reason why.
Well, this was Jack Harless, was the person who did dues withholding. So the chapter the Federation gave him $20 for signing up for dues withholding. So if anybody is retired, they can do dues withholding, and they save $6 on the national membership, and they get $20 from our federation. So it's worthwhile. With that, is Helen here today? We would talk about Alzheimer's and how we're doing. Is Helen online with us?
I don't think she's on today.
Well, when I talked with her last, we had already collected something over 3,000. So we were doing really, really well. People responded very quickly and sent in money early. I don't know if that's still happening. Is Nancy with us today for our legislative report?
She is.
Good. So Nancy, it's your turn.
You never get to me.
Well, you can't always be first, Nancy.
But I'm so important. Can you move me to the big screen, Tom?
Yes, I'm trying to do that as we speak.
Well, I'll start talking while you're doing that, okay?
Perfect.
I have a bunch of stuff. The first thing, I have some very, very late breaking news. There's a federal court that has decided that the Justice Department may not defend Trump against the defamation case. So he's going to have to get his own attorney if he wants to be defended. Of course, that'll be carried up all the way to the Supreme Court. And now that we have a full Supreme Court, no one knows what it'll decide on this issue. But right now, he cannot count on the Justice Department to defend him in the defamation case. I'm not sure if he's not president anymore, if the Justice Department would be able to do that anyway, but I'm not sure if he's going to be president or not when that actually goes to court. Okay.
Can you pray?
Can you pray?
Can you pray? One way or the other.
Wait, I'm trying not to be political here. You know, I'm trying not to be political. Okay, up onto the rest of the legislative report. The COLA, the 2021 COLA has been announced. It's going to be 1.3%. And you all remember what that means with the Medicare. It may mean we're going to have higher Medicare premiums because since most of us do not give into Social Security, we are not held harmless with Medicare premiums if the COLA is not high enough. So we don't know. Last time we were saved through some legislation. We do not know if we're going to be saved this time. This is all in a report that I'm going to be sending out to y'all as soon as this is over. I will know. By tomorrow, I'll be sending it in to Tom, and he'll be able to send it out to everybody. Okay. They've announced the 2021 FEHB premium rate charts. I'm sure Blue Cross is going to be saying what they are. There's an average increase of 4.9%, but everybody has their own percentage increase. So you'll be getting information on the Blue Cross Blue Shield later this week. And the other ones are going to be coming in too. Okay, more federal employees. If you have any friends that are still federal employees, more federal employees are subject to mandatory payroll tax deferral than originally anticipated. There's a chance you can opt out. Remember, I mentioned this last time. If people are getting deferral, they better save the money because they're going to have to pay it next year. So they better be aware that it's not a free give me. It's deferred for now, and they're going to have to pay it later. COVID-19 will not delay the federal benefits open season. So the dates are still there. It runs November 9th to December 14th, and COVID is not changing that. Your TSP can be garnished for child support. Anybody has a TSP account? It's one of the few things TSP can be garnished for, and one of them is child support. Okay, WEP, GPO, 2 prudential reductions in benefits. We've talked about these before. They're still there, and there's a whole big reminder that they can happen. All of these have links, and in the hard copy, in the electronic copy you'll be getting, you'll be able to click links and get a lot more on this information. There's a new Trump order. This sort of got hidden. Eventually it hit NARF, but I actually saw it in the regular news. There's a Trump executive order that strips workplace protections from civil servants. He's now formed a new form of class called, rather than Schedule C or Schedule whatever, they're now Schedule Fs. And they can be fired and hired and done everything very easily. He's trying to get everybody that works in policy. I do not know how far down the management chain that's going to go, but it's going to have a major, major effect on civil service if they can hire and fire at will. We've never had that before. Even the SESers have some protection, but supposedly Schedule Fs will not have that kind of protection. Okay, moving on to the state. North Carolina has entered phase 3 and is staying in phase 3. So we're phase 3 it is. What are the major changes? Meeting spaces in hotels, conference centers, meeting halls, and reception venues may host receptions, meetings, and other functions subject to reduced capacity limits. Gaming establishments may reopen subject to reduced capacity limits. Very large outdoor facilities with capacities more than 10,000 may open at 7% of the facility's total seating. We're staying in that we're staying in that for 3 more weeks from last Tuesday, I believe. So we have at least 2 more weeks. You're hearing it here.
We're losing her.
Yeah, okay.
We lost you.
Okay,
You're back.
So I'm just saying, okay, you're hearing it here now that it's very difficult. If we keep going up, if our cases keep going up and everything keeps going up, we're probably going to have to go backwards on the phasing. I don't know exactly how they're going to be working that, but you're hearing it here. There's nothing else I can do to keep us safe. Okay, Cooper's asking local authorities to step up enforcement to slow coronavirus spread. Here in Durham, we have a lot of enforcement. We've been following this very closely. Other counties aren't so good. You go 2 counties west to Alamance, I hardly wear a mask at all. And in Raleigh, it's about half and half is what I understand. It's a different world, even in the neighboring counties. Just to let you know. Durham, it's hard to understand because we're already doing pretty good here. Okay, North Carolina COVID national report. Just to say 2 things. They're getting a lot of increases from small clusters at funerals, weddings.
Nancy, you cut out here. What I would recommend is that everybody turn off their videos so that we that might help in the bandwidth.
Nancy's unmuted now. Go ahead, Nancy.
I was muted. I was okay. I'm not okay. So I was saying how the big thing is the small clusters and family gatherings and small gatherings. People are with their friends, think they don't have to worry about it, but that's what's causing a lot of the increases in the COVID counts. They're also the Hispanics are still overly represented in COVID counts, and the African Americans are equally representative according to their percent in the population, and the whites are underrepresented in the COVID counts. So that's still continuing from the last 2 months. Unfortunately, our minorities seem to be taking the brunt on this pandemic, and I certainly hope that they can get over this well. I'm not sure. State Board reminds voters not to photograph your ballot. I don't know how many people have already voted. I voted, Jay has voted, a lot of people. I've been doing poll watching at the early voting sites. There's been thousands and thousands of people that have been early voting, but do not take a picture. And definitely, if you take a picture, do not post it on Facebook or any other media. You're not supposed to take a picture at all, but if you post it, you're giving yourself proof. Okay, Halloween COVID guidance has been released. Trick-or-treating is not suggested, nor is a bowl for people to take treats out of. They have a whole amount of suggestions on that. I don't know what my neighborhood's going to be doing with trick-or-treating, but it's going to be different than normal. So be on the lookout for information on trick-or-treating. Chapel Hill cancels all remaining.
We just lost you.
2020 events, including Halloween on Frank. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you just dropped out.
Okay, sorry, I can't seem to. I'm right on top of this speaker. Dave says it's not me. Okay, so Chapel Hill isn't having any more of the events. Tillis has tested positive for COVID-19, as you know, but he's still campaigning, as is the president, but the president's supposedly over it. Judge approves North Carolina absentee ballot lawsuit, but it's being handled. In fact, one of the first cases in front of the new constituted Supreme Court is going to be our absentee ballot deadline. No one knows how that's going to go. Right now, they can count it, I think, up to 9 days afterwards, but they're talking about limiting that, I believe, to 3 days, which will cut out a lot of the absentee ballots. So if you have an absentee ballot and you haven't mailed it yet, mail it now or bring it into an early voting place. Please do not count on the mail on the post office to get there on time, because they're cutting out the times that they're going to be able to count those ballots. So please, please, please get them in. Vote, vote, vote. Okay, private schools are seeing bigger and more COVID clusters. Do you have any friends that have kids in private schools? Something to think about. I talked about the summary of data. Duke reports, in the county, Duke reports their first COVID-19 cluster among students off campus is at the Solace Place on Main Street. Duke has been able to hold it in check pretty well, as has Central, but Duke has made their first cluster. So be aware that Duke students are now having issues with COVID. They were very clean before, and they seem to be having some issues. The last thing I list, and this is the bunch of information I'm putting on it's going to be sent out. The notice I'm sending out is Durham Area Food Resources Locator. If you know somebody who's food insecure, or you yourself are food insecure, there's many, many places where you can get food for free. And I have some of them listed here, particularly for families. of students in our public school system. They'll give it to they don't ask how much money you have, they'll give it to anybody. So if you know somebody who has money but has school-age kids, ask them to get the food, and then you'll find somebody to give it to. Because there are people that don't have that. They don't ask much else. They're asking everybody to go get the food for school students. And as I said, if you know somebody has a student, have them go get the food, and then there's pantries that'll pick it up for them. If anybody has any questions on any of that, please let me know. As I said, you'll be getting hard copies of all of this. And any questions? I guess you should unmute people so they can ask questions if they have any. Oh, I was so complete, no questions. I can't believe that. Well, you guys know how to reach me if you have any questions. I'm on Gmail.
Well,
And
thank you very much, Nancy, because this has it's really good to hear your synopsis of this.
Yeah, it's very important. And also, as Nancy said, she'll send me her report, and then I will send it out to everybody.
Nancy, I don't have a question. I have a comment. This is Jane.
Well, I just have one other thing. I just read that they're seeing indications that the immunity to COVID is not lasting more than a couple of months for people that have had it. So certain people that say how they're so super immune may want to be careful because it's not going to be lasting that long. Okay, Jane, you want to go?
Oh, just a couple of comments. One is like with the private schools having more COVID, the private schools also had more in-person than, here's my face. The private schools also had more in-person classroom learning than the public schools then. So this may be a harbinger to come. We're going to see what happens with Wake County. Again, they're opening up, and Wake County is one of the counties that got a slap on the hand letter from the governor of "you're not doing enough." So these things tend to be, about a 2-week delay from misbehavior to increased COVID cases. I can't stress enough, like, we're not in the third wave, as Anthony Fauci says. We never got out of the first wave. And, we have to really still be careful. Not great news is that one of the antibody manufacturers that was trying to do something like Trump got given during his everything but the kitchen sink treatment. It's not the Moderna, but one of the other companies' antibodies hasn't worked, and so they've suspended clinical trials. It just does not work. It was already suspended for safety issues. So Resmedier got approved by the FDA, but it has a modest effect. We still don't have something that basically can knock this virus out or keep you from getting it. So you cannot let your guard down. Everybody's tired of this, but this is going to go on for at least 6 months to a year. And most of us, I think, would probably be in group 2 of like when we finally have a vaccine, who gets it. Not group 1 is the healthcare workers and the frontline workers, but people with pre-existing conditions, and susceptibility, which includes a lot of us. So you're just going to have to find ways to make a continued life with this around as part of our reality.
Thank you, Jane.
I would also say everybody get your flu shots.
Yep, I've got mine. Had mine.
Should have already gotten it. And since if you're over 65, then you need to get the turbo, which is the quad shot, the 4 whatever shot. Ask for the turbo, the one for seniors over 65. It's got more juice.
And they give it at cost. And they give it at Costco, and it's free if you're on Medicare.
I got
all
mine
kinds
at
of places.
CVS. You have to call ahead. Not all the places have it available. You have to call ahead to make sure they have it. So you have to. I had to do a lot of calling around to find it.
At Costco, you don't have to call ahead, and they have lots of it.
Well, they do now, and they won't later. That's what happens, Tom. It keeps moving around.
Yeah, I actually got my shot in August, so I shouldn't say that. So I don't know if they have lots of it now, but in August they did.
Also,
So the
1st of October at CVS. Yeah.
so the next thing.
just one
Go
more
ahead.
comment. Also, as part of this patience, and we still have a lot to go through, even after the election, which I hope everybody's making some plans for their post-traumatic stress disorder from that's going to be, however it happens, for this election, is that Trump's not out of office until January 21st, unless he gets impeached. So we still may have no federal government plan or action, or just a lot more junk going on until then. So you still, things will not really change until January, and then we will be in the midst of this still. So just make your longer term plans of how to cope and how to stay safe.
Thank you, Jane. Good point. The next thing on our agenda is Dave. Do you have anything to tell us about the newsletter, which has just gone out? Is Dave still with us?
I see him.
I'm here.
Dave, do you have video?
I see him.
Hi, it's on.
All right, let me make you. Let me put the spotlight on you. Let's see. All right. For something changed here. I'm sorry, but
that's okay. I don't have.
All right, go ahead.
To say anyway. I emailed, I think, 105 copies, and I mailed 50, and everyone should have had them like a week ago. Well, the email even before that, and with the ones I emailed in the email message, I also included the information and the links to the Blue Cross briefings today and on Thursday. We'll do another one in January. There I am.
There.
So I have a question. So how many hard copies are going out now?
50.
Okay, 50 hard copies are going out, and the rest are being emailed. And okay, and the hard copies are getting stamps on them, right?
First class mail.
All right, so we're not doing any more bulk mailing. That's over.
You have to have 200.
All right, so that's excellent. I think that's good that we're not trying to do that anymore.
We did that with our Alzheimer's letters, but that was the last thing that we had that was 200.
Right. So thank you, Dave. I think that looked great, and so I was a little bit confused. The newsletter does have the Zoom links in it, right?
Yes.
The hard copy newsletter has the Zoom links in it.
No, the emailed copies has the full information. The hard copies, well, let me think. Yeah, that's
all
right.
The same newsletter, right?
We all have the Zoom information. The only ones I stripped it out from was what I sent you for posting on the Facebook page and Peter posting on the Federation website.
Okay.
Said call Tom for more information.
Right. Okay. Just want to be clear on that. Thank you.
And in fact, at the very top of the first page, I put something alerting people that they could join the meeting just by telephone to get the audio, even if they didn't have internet access or a smartphone.
Right. Excellent. Good job. Thank you very much, Dave, for doing that.
Mhm.
Any questions for Dave on the newsletter? When's the next newsletter go out?
January. Next year.
January. Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, this was October to December, but we should have it to him by mid-December. The next one.
Do
That sounds
anything
right.
after New Year's,
Mhm.
but early is okay. Just like early voting, it's all good.
All right. Thank you, Dave. All right. So the next item on the agenda after the newsletter is calling. Do you have anything, Carolyn, on calling?
Is Fred Hawkins on our line today?
He is not.
Okay. Well, Fred is in charge of the calling committee, but I have not been able to talk with him. His family all had COVID-19. I think he's okay, but for some reason or another, I haven't been able to be in touch with him. But what I would like to suggest to all of you, if you have a few minutes, to call a few people who are NARF members and just let them know that we're thinking about them. I'm doing that, but I can't call 155. I'm calling 3 or 4 or 5 a week, but the people I've talked with have been delighted to hear from us. So if you're willing and able to do that, we are able to use our phones. So please pick some members that you know and give them a call and tell them we're thinking about them. Make sure that they know we're doing these by virtual meetings and that we care about them. Okay?
And Carolyn, I just wanted to ask, I sent an email to let you know that I saw a picture of Annie Taylor in the obituary column. So I think Annie Taylor is now deceased.
Oh,
I'll try to find that and send you the actual date of that.
I haven't seen the email.
Okay, well, maybe because you had computer problems, but.
Right, my computer is in Lexington, Kentucky, being fixed. I'm using Frank's right now, and yesterday I had to take it to Geek Squad. So that's why I had a little problem this morning in getting in. But anyway, thanks very much. I had tried to call Annie and have not been able to get her, but she's one of our older members, another one of our older members. So thanks for letting me know. And I'll need to be in touch with her family. Thank you.
And Mary, our last thing on the agenda today is an update on our program.
Well, next month we will be getting the annuitants briefing recap by Sandra Smith. So whoever is not able to go to the annuitants briefing will be able to have that information next month in November.
Excellent. And that's before the end of the open season, so that'll be great.
Yes.
So if we miss the briefing this afternoon from 2 to 4, or if we miss it on Thursday, the 29th from 2 to 4, we can still hear her briefing next month in November. Excellent.
Yes.
Wonderful. And then the last thing on the agenda today is for any other announcements or comments from anybody on today's call. So I would ask everyone to feel free to unmute and, as they say, have at it.
Tom, this is
Anybody?
And
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I filled out a form and asked the USPS to close our permit account and send us the balance. So we should be getting back $81.49. And the other thing is since we don't have a Alzheimer's raffle, I've received 2 checks in the mail from people who graciously trying to keep our memorial Alzheimer's Memorial Fund up, and appreciate that from Carolyn and from Dale Crowley. And so right now we've got to send out 4 Alzheimer's Memorial checks for totaling $100, and we've received about $170 in contributions to those memorials.
Well, we'll have to send one to Annie regarding Annie Taylor too when I get that information. Mary just told me about her.
We can do that. I can send one on out in today's mail.
Okay, as soon as I get the information, I'll get it to Helen, and we'll send it on out. Then, thank you.
The other thing is that we received dues last month, according to the W101 and the A220s, from 17 members, and that's brought us almost up to the average that we've had the past 2 years at this time.
Good.
So I thought that was really good news.
Great.
That is good news.
Right. Well, then you'll also be sending out the per capita, right?
Right, and
that'll go in January or February.
It's due by the end of February 2021, and I've been keeping track of that and taking it into account. And so we have a working balance right now of $1,650.43.
Excellent.
So we're
Do you
good
have
shape
any
right now.
ideas about how we can kind of, I don't know, how we could do a raffle at our virtual meetings? I don't know quite how we could do that, but I'm trying to think how we could keep that fund going. If anybody has any ideas, let me know.
Well,
one way that we could do that is if everybody was on PayPal, and they could PayPal. We could set up a PayPal account for NARF 566, and they could buy raffle tickets by sending in money to NARF 566. So that's one way that we could think about doing it. And we could have an account in PayPal that's for 566, and then we could do it that way. And then we could, I guess, mail them a Kit Kat bar.
Let's hope it doesn't get canceled the hard way.
That's right.
Well, something to think about anyway, because we're kind of missing out on the raffle money for paying our memorials. We do send a memorial check of $25 for every member who passes away. We send those to Vivian Vare. I mean, we don't send those to Vivian Vare. We send those to the next of kin when we can locate someone. We send the money to Alzheimer's, but we send a letter to the next of kin saying that we've sent the memorial.
I did just call Helen and she's okay. She forgot real quickly about the meeting. She doesn't have the final amount count yet.
Okay.
I have an idea. I have an idea. Rather than Kit Kat bars and stuff, why don't you have some NARF masks made? Because Etsy does masks, and hand out NARF masks, something like that. Something that's going to give us diabetes.
That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Great idea.
Or a jar of hand sanitizer.
So we need to get in touch with NARF National or Henry Bratley,
Right.
Carolyn.
Right, I will. I have to talk with him this afternoon, and I'm involved with a meeting with him tomorrow. So I will do that. I think that's a super idea, Jane. Thank you. And we haven't always done just Kit Kat bars. we did for a while do tags for the front of your car. It had NARF on it, a license plate that we put on the front of cars. We did that for a while, and we also sold those, but not for Alzheimer's. We did that for something else. So yeah,
But face masks.
I love the idea
Yeah.
of masks. We'll look into that today.
One of the other things we could do is have a second Alzheimer's mailing with a letter saying that we're requesting funding for memorials, and have the anybody who wants to support that to send a check to the treasurer, and then the treasurer would keep track of who sent it on in, and we come up with some sort of scheme to figure out a weighted scheme to figure out to have a monthly drawing, sort of like a wheel of fortune where you spin it and have so many numbers on it and with each number for based on $1 worth of contributions.
And here's another idea for maybe increasing participation for our monthly meetings. Maybe we announced that our monthly meetings, we're going to have a drawing based upon whoever's attending our monthly meetings that will be selected from the people at the monthly meeting, that they will receive a gift at the monthly meeting, which will be mailed to them, which will be a face mask or a NARF something or other. I want to, before we adjourn today, to thank our 14 faithful, Mary Vickers and Peter Eckhoff and Carolyn London, Kay Harwood, Leola Jenkins, Anna Cox, Wes, it says, Wes Carson. It says Carl's iPad here. Wes Carson, Jane Caldwell, Clyde Hasty, Gail Crowley, David Jackson, Nancy Mayer, and Dave Salmon for being on for the whole period of time. At one point, we did have 18 people on our call today. So I think that's wonderful. Thank you so much for participating.
Add Frank London too, because
okay, that makes 19. And so sorry, Gail, you had problems getting in, and thank goodness you were able to get back in. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom.
And I apologize for my not being able to do what I need to do for sharing screens, but I will have that figured out by November. Do or die.
Well, and I apologize for being late. I'm using Frank's computer, and Frank had never logged into Zoom. So I had to log in, and then it was in the spam. My email was in the spam folder, and it wouldn't take it from the spam folder. So I had to move that to the inbox. And by the time I'd done all of that, you all were into the pledge, and I apologize for being late.
As we're so lucky, Carolyn, to be able to blame it all on technology, aren't we?
Well, you can just blame it on Carolyn today. Just this dumb.
No. So do we have anybody else that wants to, has a question or a suggestion or anything? Now's the time. Go ahead. If there's no other suggestions or comments, then Carolyn, do you want to adjourn our meeting for today?
The meeting is adjourned. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A second?
Second by Peter Eckhoff.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Stay well.
Yes, and today's meeting has been filmed and will be posted, so you can review it later. And our next meeting will be on November what, Mary? Mary Vickers, Can you tell us when our next meeting will be?
I think she's looking it up right now.
Okay. I'll tell you when our next.
November the 24th.
November the 24th, 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Yep, I believe
Okay.
that's
Next one will be
fourth Tuesday.
the third Tuesday in December. What's
Right.
the
Right.
third Tuesday in
That will be December the 15th for the third
Yes.
Tuesday.
Right.
Right. All right. So November the 24th. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you.